Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. We've got Adam 4-time Brennan on Doomsday versus Matt Orfanello on Eurekatel. Good friends meeting in the finals. ELD Legacy Open, but only one of them can win. Both of them have won Open Series before. Four-time for Adam Brennan. He's won, I believe we've got an SCG, leaving a Legacy, ELD Open, I believe a Team Open as well. This Thoughtseize very, very strong versus show and tell decks in general, but Eurekatel is better positioned versus discard than most because you have 4 copies of Veil of Summer. Thoughtseize capable of dismantling the hand, either stripping counters or whatever combo pieces would be used to combo off. When it works, it's great. When it gets Veil of Summered, though, you're just going to be in a really bad way. That has green card spells, going to carry with them a significant risk. Here's so far, just trying to sculpt the hand, get to the point where they can actually combo off and defend it, knowing that your opponent has counter magic. One thing, knowing that they can combo off, just kill you, is another. Have Street Wraith cycling in response to this Ice Fang. Really much reason to do that. Not a ton. I mean, the Ice Fang's not likely to be relevant in terms of life totals. Could possibly interact with the number of Street Wraiths that Adam can cycle at the end of the game if he does resolve a Doomsday. That could potentially be relevant if he does some more Thoughtseizes, gets low enough, loses half of his life to Doomsday. Then we could potentially see a change to the Doomsday piles. That shouldn't be too disruptive. The classic response here to a Thoughtseize, Brainstorm, so Matt's going to be able to protect the best stuff in his hand. That top card of the library is going to be the most crucial one here. Oh, and yeah, we've got double show and tell. Force of Will gets taken. So he's just going to be able to jam a show and tell. Adam has to counter this. Got to imagine there's a Gristlebrand on top. Force pitching Daze. Bang, chips in there. Mystic Sanctuary showing up. Able to fetch that really huge. So there's a Force of Will on top of the library. He had Duress there? I don't like the fetching on Matt's turn. A Thoughtseize there would have felt really bad. And, oh, look at this. Omniscience and Gristlebrand. Show and Tell puts in Omniscience. Omniscience is going to make all of these spells castable for free. No need to pay their mana cost. Gristlebrand's going to draw 7. Now another 7. All of these cards can be cast for free. It's going to be insurmountable here. Uro shows up, gains some more life. Another Uro would actually allow Matt to draw another 7 if he can get past 7 life. Digging away. Still has plenty of mana in case of Daze. And there's the Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish can grab, I mean, most cleanly, it probably just grabs Shared Summoning, allows for Emrakul, take the extra turn, and then win the game on the following turn. That picks up game number 1. Yeah, that's certainly going to be the end of it when you get a Omniscience and then a Gristlebrand in play. I mean, there's almost no chance of coming back from that. We'll see what Adam can do here for game 2. Doomsday is a really dangerous deck. Rikatel might be one of its tougher matchups. I mean, the Veil of Summer is such a key card here. Doomsday can lean quite heavily on those discard effects, and able to stop them for 1 green, very punishing. Cantrips for Adam. Ponder and Preordain. What these decks are looking to do, kind of sculpt optimal hand. One of the things that makes the format so fun, too. A lot of decisions to be made. Some of them wrong for sure. Like, there are decisions that are just absolutely incorrect that people will make at times. But then, on the other side, there's a lot of lines that are not just strictly best. You could have great players take a look at the same exact scenario and come down on different sides of how to play the lines. Something I really enjoy about Magic. Even how to play a card like Brainstorm. There's a lot of discussion and debate about the best way to use that. At the end of the day, this is the proving ground. Actually showing up and playing in these type of tournaments. These are a $50 buy-in tournament. Going to be at least a 1K at just 20 players. We just give out 100% of the entries as store credit. So, you know, if we end up hitting 40 players, which I'd like to see. I would like to see us back at 40 players. I know we were in the 30s prior to the pandemic. Love to get these numbers back up in that range. Now we've got a Force of Will on Doomsday. Mystic Dispute. Doomsday, of course, the key card here. Once this resolves, Adam's almost certain to win. And Mystical Dispute, a 1 blue. Wow, talk about fireworks. We've got a Veil of Summer and then Force of Willing the Veil. So all of this is going to resolve. Doomsday is going to leave Adam with 5 cards in his library. He'll be set up to win. Matt is going to need to dig for a potential counter. I mean, it really depends on what Adam has in his hand and how he wants to stack this pile. Doomsday can have uncounterable wins. You can have Cavern of Souls into your Thassa's Oracle with no cards left in the library. Don't know if Adam has a cantrip left in his hand. If he does, we might see something. I mean, it would need to be Brainstorm. Brainstorm can get multiple combo pieces in hand. Tracking Lion's Eye Diamond for blue, for example. Actually, he could just have Wraith in hand. Well, there's a lot of things that he could have. This could go any number of ways. Let's see what he's got. That can look through the entire exile pile and deduce what the 5 cards that are left in the deck are. Really only so much left to be done. Preordain, looking for a counter. Keeps it. All right. Ideas Unbound. He's going to draw 3. One card left in the library. That has the dress down. Here's our cavern. And a Thoughtseize. One card left in the library. Dress down's going to go away. Oh, no. Uro's going to escape. At this point, I don't even know what you're hoping to draw. Endurance, I guess? Guess you're just hoping to draw Endurance. Be able to shuffle that graveyard back into the library. So that is going to do it. What an interesting sequence there with the dress down. Thoughtseize would have stripped it from his hand. No matter what. Not playing it prior to the Thoughtseize. Ultimately, Adam able to just pass the turn, draw his final card, and end to force a game number 3. So Matt's going to have the play here. Now, he doesn't have a likelihood of like a first turn kill. I mean, no Dark Ritual, Doomsday, actually just straight up win the game on his side of the table. Could potentially have like Lotus Petal, land, Soul Land. He's still running those. Actually, not positive that Urotel is running many Soul Lands. I think he just has a few in there. Adam's eating out with the Preordain as well. He's a Thassa's Oracle. Kind of a tricky card to have in hand. Or some interesting situations that can happen there. Likely, I mean, it's probably more in the realm of win more, though it can create some situations where your opponent potentially be trying to win off of your own Doomsday. Complicate the situation by actually having the Oracle in. More so in Cephalid Breakfast, where you have the ability to use Aether Vial in response to any type of shenanigans. Players brainstorm and fetch. Decisions being made. Determine the winner. ELD Legacy Open. Game 3 of the finals. Either deck on the spot from point forward very easily. Question of your opponent able to stop you. We're talking about Force of Will, Force of Negation, Mystic Acute, Daze, Veil of Summer, tons of counterspells available. Dress Down as well for Matt. Stop that ET Passes Oracle. A card that's got a lot of utility. Not truly sure if it's better than Stifle right now. I think if you have synergy with the Dress Down, for example, end of turn, Dress Down, untap, and play your Uro, that might be just better than Stifle in those type of decks. But very often, if all you're doing is trying to stop your opponent, Stifle is perhaps better in some decks. Now we've got a Show and Tell tapped out. Days. No, Force of Negation. This card's not really amazing. Doomsday. Can't use it to protect your combo. That's just straight up respect for the power of Eurekatel to have those extra pitch counters to prevent losing. Turns out, sometimes having cancel in your deck lines up just fine versus the 3-mana sorcery on the other side of the table. Now a duress. Rest down. Would have been absolutely over if it wasn't for Force of Negation stopping that show and tell. Now duress sees a bunch of options. Not the creatures, though, so endurance is still a problem. Endurance is actually quite strong versus Doomsday, as they're looking to win with Thassa's Oracle. Eventually shuffle that graveyard back in response to the trigger. Like Matt opting not to really do anything with the mana here. Open the dress down. Burrow in hand could have drawn a card, gained some life, which is of no consequence in this matchup. Potentially made a land drop. Mostly just bookkeeping. There's a slight chance that Eureka Tell could end up with an Uro in play and actually finish the game that way, but imagine that wouldn't even be 1 out of 10 games. Wow, Veil of Summer in response to Doomsday. And letting it resolve. Admittedly, haven't played this particular matchup to my recollection. Certainly not something that I've spent hours and hours playtesting. I'm surprised with that Veil of Summer being fired off there. It's going to ensure that Adam is unlikely to win this turn. I have to feel like that Veil might have been more valuable very near future. Skip over Adam making this Doomsday pile. Getting back to the action here. Took a break to help some customers. A commander build. Got show and tell from Matt. Now, what does Adam have to deal with this? Got the Force, pitching Force of Negation. That is it. He's going to be able to untap and go for the win, and he's got to know he's in really good shape here. If Matt could have fought over that, he surely would have. The shields are down. Consider. Now Thassa's Oracle with 2 cards left. We've got an Endurance. Oh, and Pact of Negation. Such a strong card. Pact of Negation. Matt's taking a look at it. Could have potentially kept Dress Down and Endurance in there. But he went for the kill. I'm going to have to rewatch this a couple of times to figure out what the optimal line was there. What an absolutely spectacular finish. As Thassa's Oracle, ETBs backed up by Pact of Negation, and Adam Brennan, now Adam 5-time Brennan, another Open Series win for the trophy case.